7 things that don't make sense after 70. These truths hit hard. When you cross the threshold into your 70s, the world doesn't just look different, it feels different. The pace of the days changes. The noise of ambition quiets, but the whispers of truth grow louder. You begin to see things you once rushed past, and sometimes those truths don't make sense. Not because they're complicated, but because they reveal how much of life we've spent chasing the wrong things. I'm not talking about small surprises or quaint observations. I'm talking about the deep, unsettling realizations that hit you when you've lived long enough to watch patterns repeat, to see choices come full circle, to witness both the beauty and the foolishness of the human heart. At 70 and beyond, you notice how time speeds up even as your body slows down. You see people still running after the same illusions that left others empty decades before. You watch a culture worship youth while neglecting the voices that could guide it. And you find yourself asking questions you didn't dare to ask at 30 or 40. Questions about meaning, regret, and what truly matters when the finish line is no longer abstract. There's a clarity that comes with age, but it's a bittersweet gift. It can make you grateful for the moments you still have, but it can also make you grieve for the moments you wasted. The strange part, much of what doesn't make sense after 70 could have been seen much earlier if only we had listened. Today I want to share with you 7 of those things, not from a textbook, not from theory, but from the raw, unfiltered perspective of years lived, mistakes made, and lessons earned the hard way. And I hope that whether you're 25 or 85, you'll hear something in these words that makes you stop, think, and maybe, just maybe, choose differently before it's too late. Number 1. Time speeds up, yet people still waste it. There's a peculiar shift that happens once you pass a certain age. In your 20s, a year feels endless, full of possibilities, slow in unfolding. In your 30s, time picks up a little, but there's still a sense that you have more than enough of it. By your 40s and 50s, the seasons start to blend together, and you catch yourself wondering where the last 5 years went. But after 70, time isn't just moving, it's sprinting. Weeks feel like days. Summers vanish in a blink. You sit down for coffee on a Tuesday, and somehow it's Sunday again. And in that dizzying rush, you realize something that's as sobering as it is painful. People are still wasting their most precious, irreplaceable resource. We waste it in countless ways. We replay old grudges instead of forgiving. We spend hours numbing ourselves with television or scrolling through meaningless noise rather than speaking to a friend, holding a grandchild, or sitting quietly with our own thoughts. We keep putting off the things we say matter most. I'll travel next year. I'll write that letter when I have time. I'll visit when it's less busy, as if we're entitled to an endless supply of tomorrows. After 70, you know that's a lie. You can feel the finiteness of your days in your bones. And that's why it doesn't make sense when people, especially those who've lived long enough to know better, still act like time is an infinite bank account. If I could press this truth into someone's heart at 20 or 30, I would. Time is the one currency you can never earn back. Every moment you waste is gone forever. And the tragedy is not just in the loss, it's in how easily it could have been avoided. Spend your time with purpose. Say what you need to say. Do what you've been meaning to do. Don't wait for someday, because after 70, you'll know someday comes faster than you think. Number 2. People chase things they can't take with them. When you're young, the world tells you that success is a list you can check off. A house, a car, a title, a bank account. And so you chase. You work the long hours, sacrifice weekends, push aside the quiet joys, and fill your life with things that shine in the moment. But somewhere past 70, you start to look around and realize, All that glitter doesn't come with you. I've been to enough funerals to know the truth. No matter how much you've earned, built, or collected, it all stays behind. The suits, the jewelry, the vacation homes, even the walls you painted and decorated just the way you liked them. Someone else will own them, or they'll fade away entirely. And yet, you'll still see people, some well past the age when they should know better, running the same race, still driven by the need to accumulate. They think the next purchase, the next upgrade, the next dollar will fill the hollow space inside. But here's the thing, the hunger never ends, because what you're feeding isn't a need, it's an illusion. After 70, what matters shifts. You realize that the real wealth is in things no thief can steal and no market crash can take away. It's in the memories you've made, the relationships you've nurtured, the kindness you've given, the moments when you chose love over winning. Those are the treasures that last. Those are the riches that follow you in ways money never can. It doesn't make sense that we spend so much of our lives chasing the temporary while neglecting the eternal. And maybe the saddest part is how often we only realize it when the clock is nearly out of time. If you're younger than 70 and you're hearing this, don't start building the kind of wealth you can take with you. Because one day you'll understand the things you cling to now might be the very things that keep you from holding on to what truly matters. Number 3. Society respects youth, but forgets experience. There's a strange shift you start to notice in how the world looks at you after 70. When you were younger, people listened a little closer when you spoke, eager to hear your ideas, your insight, your vision for the future. But now, even with decades of life behind you, it's as if your voice has been lowered to a faint background hum. Our culture, especially in America, has built an altar to youth. Fresh faces, fast talk, and untested confidence are celebrated, while the steady, seasoned voice of experience often gets ignored. Young minds are given the spotlight, and older ones are shuffled quietly to the side, sometimes even before they're ready to step down. What doesn't make sense is this. Experience is one of the rarest and most valuable resources we have. It's not taught in school. It can't be downloaded or bought. It's earned inch by inch, through years of mistakes, victories, heartbreaks, and resilience. And yet, instead of honoring it, society often overlooks it, treating wisdom like a relic instead of a guide. At 70, you've walked through storms others haven't even seen on the horizon. You've watched history repeat itself, felt the weight of choices, and learned the cost of both speaking up and staying silent. Your insight could save someone years of pain or help them avoid mistakes they can't undo. But too often, it's dismissed before it's even heard. This disregard is more than just hurtful. It's wasteful. It means lessons get relearned the hard way. It means wisdom dies unheard, and it leaves younger generations poorer, even in a world overflowing with information. If you're still in your younger years, hear this. You don't have to agree with every word an elder speaks, but you'd be a fool not to listen. Because the stories they carry aren't just about the past. They're a roadmap for your future. And if you're over 70, know this. Your voice still matters, even if the world forgets to say so. Speak anyway. Number 4. Health is a priority, but not until it's failing. There's a quiet arrogance in youth. The belief that the body will always bounce back, that tomorrow is just another chance to start fresh, that sickness is something that happens to other people, and so we eat what we want, sleep too little, push our bodies harder than they were meant to be pushed, and ignore the subtle warnings they give us. By 70, those warnings aren't subtle anymore. They're loud. They come in the form of slower steps, stiffer joints, pills lined up in a little plastic tray, and suddenly you realize how many decades you lived as if your health were unshakable. It's one of the cruel ironies of life. You only truly understand the value of your health when it starts to leave you. You start wishing you'd exercised more, eaten better, managed stress. You remember all the times you said, "I'll start Monday," and realize Monday came and went hundreds of times. What doesn't make sense is how, even after seeing friends and family suffer, we often don't take action until our own bodies give out. We treat health like a luxury when it's the very foundation of the life we want to live. After 70, you know the truth. Every day you wake up without pain. Every breath that comes easy. Every walk you can take without stopping to catch your breath. That's wealth beyond measure. And you'd trade almost anything to keep it. If you're still in your strong years, guard your health like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Don't wait for the crisis to make it a priority. And if your health is already fragile, remember this: caring for yourself now, even in small ways, can still bring you more good days, more moments, more life to live. Number 5. People confuse busyness with purpose. Purpose. Somewhere along the way, we started treating a packed schedule like a badge of honor. We measure our worth by how many appointments we have, how many tasks we can juggle, how little time we have left for rest. In our younger years, it almost feels like a competition. Who can run faster, climb higher, do more? But after 70, you start to see it differently. You realize that busyness is not the same as purpose. Being constantly in motion doesn't mean you're heading in the right direction. In fact, some of the busiest people you know have spent their lives running in circles, never stopping long enough to ask where they're actually going. You begin to notice how much of life gets lost in the noise. The conversations that could have gone deeper but were cut short. The sunsets you didn't watch because you were too busy. The dreams that stayed shelved because there was always something more urgent to handle. It doesn't make sense that we fill our calendars but leave our souls empty, that we treat quiet as laziness, when sometimes it's the only space where clarity can breathe. Purpose is not about how much you do, it's about why you do it. After 70, you value the slow cup of coffee with a friend over a dozen rushed meetings. You treasure an afternoon in the garden, more than a day of endless errands. You'd rather spend an hour with your grandchild's laughter than an hour checking off a to-do list that will refill tomorrow. The truth is, life is not a race. It's a journey. And you don't win by crossing the finish line first. You win by making sure the steps you take matter. So if you're younger, stop equating constant movement with progress. And if you're older, remember, it's not too late to choose depth over speed. Number 6. We plan for retirement, but not for meaning. In America, we're taught to plan for retirement, like it's the grand finale. We save, we invest, we work decades for the promise of those golden years. We imagine the travel, the hobbies, the freedom, and when the day finally comes, we clock out for the last time, turn in the office keys, and sometimes we find ourselves lost. Because here's the truth, no one talks about. You can plan for financial security, but that doesn't automatically give you a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And for many, the shock comes fast. The days feel empty, the structure is gone, the sense of being needed fades. After 70, you've either built a life that still feels full, or you're learning the hard way that money alone doesn't fill the space where purpose should be. You start to realize that all the retirement planning in the world means little if you didn't also prepare your heart, your mind, and your spirit for this chapter. What doesn't make sense is how much we talk about the how of retirement, and how little we talk about the why. We plan for vacations, but not for meaning. We think about hobbies, but not about contribution. We talk about financial independence, but not about emotional fulfillment. The happiest people after 70 are the ones who kept something worth waking up for. whether that's volunteering, mentoring, creating, learning, or simply showing up for the people they love. They didn't just stop working, they started living with intention. If you haven't reached that season yet, start now. Think about what will give your days meaning when the title is gone, when the paycheck stops, when the world no longer demands your time, because purpose is what makes life rich, no matter how much is in the bank. Number 7. We wait too long to say what matters. There is a unique kind of ache that comes with words left unsaid. You feel it most sharply after 70, when the faces in your life have changed, when some chairs at the table sit empty, and when you realize you can't call or visit someone who's gone. We wait. We tell ourselves there's time. We'll say, "I love you" later. We'll apologize when the tension dies down. We'll share the story, give the compliment, ask the question someday. But someday has a way of vanishing, and the window for speaking from the heart closes faster than we expect. That someday has a way of vanishing, and the window for speaking from the heart closes faster than we expect. By 70, you've likely lost enough people to understand. The words you don't say can haunt you more than the ones you regret saying. You remember the friend you never thanked, the sibling you never reconciled with, the parent you never asked about their youth. Those silences become heavy over the years. It doesn't make sense that we hoard love as if it might run out, that we swallow forgiveness when giving it could set both hearts free, that we let pride or fear or habit keep us from speaking what could bring life to someone's spirit. After 70, you understand that a simple, "I'm proud of you," "I forgive you," or "I love you" can be the most valuable gift you ever give, and you learn, sometimes too late, that you can't assume the person you mean to say it to will be here tomorrow. If you still have the chance, take it. Call them. Write it. Speak it. Say what matters while you still can, because the day will come when you'd give anything to go back and have one more conversation, and the only thing left will be the echo of what you never said. Conclusion: living with clarity before it's too late. Reaching 70 and beyond is a privilege not everyone gets. But it's also a mirror that reflects every choice you've made, good and bad, without the blur of youthful illusion. You see what mattered and what didn't. You see the cost of chasing the temporary. You see the moments you can't get back. And here's the truth that hurts the most. So many of the things that don't make sense after 70 could have been seen decades earlier. If only we had slowed down. If only we had listened. If only we had valued what truly lasts. But the beauty is, no matter where you are right now, you still have this moment. You can stop wasting time. You can loosen your grip on what won't last. You can choose purpose over busyness, meaning over money, connection over pride. You can speak the words that need to be said. You don't have to wait for old age to see clearly. You can borrow the lens of those who've walked ahead, learn from their mistakes, and live with the kind of wisdom that turns regret into gratitude. Life will always move faster than you think, but you can slow down enough to make it count. And when your own 70s come, you won't just look back on years. You'll look back on a life well lived.